So Muhammad Ali is probably one of the great 20th century representatives of Islam. For me personally, at least, hopefully I'm not showing my bias. One of the great modern representatives is Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's a great fighter and a great human being. So
Yeah.
you've gotten a chance to meet him. I should also say you're good friends with a lot of really interesting Muslim people. I mean, it's such a widespread religion. There's just so much variety of different people that are practicing Muslims. So, what does Khabib represent? What do you like about him as a Muslim? What do you like about him as a person, as representative of the religion?
I think Habib, first of all, he is a great person, humble person. He's shown, and now Islam as well, kind of following in that. They're really showing the beauty of faith in their lives, their culture, their values, everything from the way that he carried himself in a principled way. Like every Muslim kid grew up in a public school cafeteria before Islamic schools were a thing in the United States, not eating pork, for example, and kind of being the odd person out. So when you got a fighter in the UFC scene and doesn't drink alcohol, kind of maintains like a very consistent, principled, attachment to his religion, it really is inspiring. Growing up, we had Hakeem Olajuwon in the 1990s, basketball, who was fasting in the NBA. I think Habib is that for a lot of people, a lot of young people today, and people in general. And I think beyond that, the values, how he honored his father and how he honors his mother and how he continues to put family first. That's a beautiful part of Islam. That's a beautiful part of our value system. We have a lot of emphasis on family. Family is central to Islam. And his honoring of his father was so beautiful. And again, what he's willing to do for his mother, it's just so beautiful. And I think that we saw it, frankly, even with Morocco in the World Cup. There was a lot of Islamophobia in this recent World Cup episode. A lot of the criticism of Qatar, while no government is beyond reproach, certainly no government is beyond reproach, but had very obvious, blatant Islamophobic undertones. And then with Morocco rising, being the first African Muslim Arab team, to get that far in the World Cup, what did you see? Beyond the consistent honoring of Palestine, you also saw the honoring of the mothers. Every single time the game would end, they go into a prostration of gratitude. So just like we prostrate in prayer, a prostration of gratitude. And then they go and they kiss their mothers' foreheads, dance with their mothers on the field, hug their moms, and honor their moms. That's Islam for you. Khabib, after his fight, what does he do? He prostrates. He points up to the heavens. It's God. And then he prostrates. The whole Moroccan team beautifully prostrates. Even when they lost, they prostrated out of gratitude. They honored their mothers. So I think sometimes athletes are able to demonstrate some of these beautiful values of Islam in a way that the world can maybe see them in a different light.
The values of humility and the values of love broadly, but love for family.
And look how everyone around Habib talks about him, right? No one ever says he's a jerk. No one ever says he's mistreated them. They've all got stories, right? And that's what a beautiful Muslim does. A beautiful human being. You treat the people in such a way that all these stories come out later of how good you were to everyone that came into contact with you. And Habib was that person. He is that person. He does a great job of treating people with a lot of respect. Obviously, no one is perfect, right? I mean, imperfections are for everybody, but I definitely think that he did a beautiful job representing his faith in those moments. Beyond punching people in the face, that's kind of a different subject. Smashing faces, not the smashing faces part, the prostration part, and the humility. I tell you, man, he's not humble in the ring, right? He would maul his opponents, right? But
I mean, as a practitioner, as a fan of the sport, of all grappling sports, for me, there's also a beauty to the art of grappling and the fighting sports. But yes, I think again, humility, his honor outside the cage is exemplary, and the money, the fame, the power hasn't changed the man.
No, not at all. And that's actually, I think, the most beautiful part. When I met him, I found him to be as humble as he is on screen, and that's always very endearing. And all of the stories of the people that have been around him for a much longer time. Very humble man. I pray for him. Honestly, I pray for Islam. I pray for that family, that God keeps them grounded and protected and together, and that they maintain that beautiful spirit. Because even if you just watch the lead up of to the last fight with Islam, just the way they carry themselves, their day to day, they never relinquish their prayers. They never relinquish their family ties, the things that make them who they are, to be better fighters, because they don't see that they have to let go of those things. In fact, they attribute all of their worldly success to that faith. And so, beautiful examples. And I think that it's good for young Muslims to see themselves in that, and it's good for other people to see Islam through that as well.